Ron Kaufman here with Professor Jochen Wirtz. Jochen, over both of our careers, we've been educators in the area of service and service excellence and service cultures, and we're also practitioners in helping our corporate clients to be more successful. But we don't often see a connection here between service education and then businesses in service. And so I'm intrigued. Why do you think it is that we're not seeing more of a passionate interest in learning about service as an academic field by people who are practitioners?
I think it's a very interesting question because we do understand the power of lifetime value, of customer loyalty, of service recovery, of revenue management.
Right. All of these fundamental distinctions that academia has really teased out, and they can show you how to apply these. Why isn't business paying attention?
I think it is just at the moment service is just seen as being not really top management focus. Top management is busy with other strategically more important stakeholders and initiatives, and very often the service function has been delegated. And I think there just has been too little appreciation of the importance of service overall, whether it's customer feedback systems or revenue management or any of those things, for the competitive position and the value capturing power all of these tools can give you. I think that appreciation just hasn't really reached top management often.
Is this a historical phenomenon that comes out of the legacy of product development and innovation and advancements in technology that have had people think, or financial engineering, where people think the way to make more money, the way to be more valuable as a business is to do something of that. Oh, and then, by the way, we'll need service afterwards.
There's certainly an element of this, right? I mean, a product and innovation is something people see. It's tangible. I'm launching this new car, and this new car has the following new technologies in it. So it's very tangible, right? Where service is very often intangible, underappreciated, and misunderstood. And now what I think will change this is a lot of the hardware, a lot of the gadgets are being commoditized.
Right.
So what differentiates you?
Right.
Yeah, and that is more and more that you are providing service and more that you're providing solutions rather than gadgets and products.
So the experience that a customer or a client or a member or a guest or a patient or a visitor is having becomes now the differentiator. And in the world of social media, that's ever more what people are talking about.
Absolutely, yes. This is how brands are being built.
Now, at the same time, this whole domain of service excellence education has also been built during the course of our professional careers.
Yes.
If we went back a few decades ago, there wasn't nearly the amount of research or the amount of courseware or the education available. What's the state of the art in service education today?
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting that you mentioned this. I mean, Christopher Lovelock, one of my co-authors, he published the very first services marketing textbook in 1984 when he was a professor at Harvard. Before that, there was not a single textbook and not a single course on services marketing. And then over these last 35 years, we went from actually understanding very little about service processes. I mean, all the topics we discussed, even service recovery, were not understood. And today there's such a wealth of research. We know exactly how customers respond to certain service recovery strategies, approaches, how to handle it, how to do it in a cost-effective manner. So there's a wealth out there. But I think in companies, there seems to be a big gap between what is sort of understood in research, what's best practice in research and cutting-edge knowledge. Industry seems to lag behind on these more managerial practices. On the other hand, where industry seems to lead is applied topics. Let's say on things like AI and platforms. Industry, the technology moves so fast, and that research takes the time to sort of keep up with what's happening here. So you can see, on one hand, practice is a bit advanced on certain topics, but and these tend to be the topics also that can be commercialized
quickly and scaled.
Yeah. So it's a consulting company that picks up that topic and packages it and drives it. And then you get quick implementation. But the more softer things, like how do you design a service recovery strategy?
Or a great customer feedback system, or
yeah.
build a culture of service inside of an organization. You're still going to have people in business saying, well, my industry is different, or my geography is different, or my customers are different, and not understand the wealth of research and insight and analysis that's available, but that you have to go out as a student to go look for.
It would take a CEO to say, this is critically important to me. Let's do that. Let's look into this. And I think it's not by chance that if you look at some of the service champions we celebrate in the industry, they all have CEOs who stay with the company sometimes for decades, who all have an extremely strong focus on customers as well as on customer serving staff.
Right.
You think of one of the early success stories was Southwest Airlines and Herb Kelleher.
Right.
He was on the planes, he was on the gates and check-in, right?
And created a culture amongst the service providers that would have gone to war for him.
And you look at, let's say, Tony Hsieh of Zappos,
Yes.
right? So similar story. His book on delivering happiness is a beautiful statement
And the
to that.
culture of being a little bit weird to give wow with service.
Steve Jobs driving an Apple, pushing for perfection, pushing for the user experience.
And the sense of pride people had by working there and still do today at Apple.
Jeff Bezos with Amazon, right? He is really dry. Customer focus is everything to him. He cuts costs to give you a low price, but at the same time, he is so adamant of delivering a smooth, seamless customer experience. Yeah, so you can see. I mean, I can pick other CEOs, but when you get a CEO who makes seamless customer service and excellence as part of their mission for the company, the whole company moves. If you're the CEO outsources customer service to a customer service function, I think this is when you see trouble.
Got it. Because then they're looking at some other levers to be able to increase profitability rather than the sustainability that can actually come from having an entire team of people who understand the power and the value of the service experience that we create.
And I find it quite interesting. I mean, both Steve Jobs and Howard Schultz started the company, exited the company, and had to come back.
Howard Schultz at Starbucks, of course.
Yes.
Right. To be able to bring that ethos of passion for the customer back.
And the baristas.
Right.
And the frontline. So what they all have in common, they're really customer-centric as well as frontline staff-centric, because they deliver the value, right?
So one of the themes as I think we look forward into the future, I mean, there's so many, robotics and AI and commoditization and globalization, but this specific area of service excellence education and being the passionate learner, it's not something for just students. It's not something just for people at mid-career who are saying, how do I step up and get a promotion? What you're saying is this is for everyone, from the most senior position all the way to anybody who is at the front line. This concern to understand service excellence and the concern to build together a culture of passionate, continuous improvement in service. And academics and education can provide a huge step up to help make that happen.
There's so much knowledge out there. It's unbelievable if you dig deeper on every one of these topics.
And anyone who wants to dig deeper should go to www.jochenwerts.com, where you will find a treasure trove of some of the finest service excellence education available in the world anywhere. Thank you, Jochen.
Thank you, Ron.